You're watching HCAM TV.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Gathering in Quarantine. I'm Terry Malisi, and sharing the screen with me is Mike Tarosian. Hi, Mike.
Hey, Terry, how we doing?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic, and I'm really excited about the show.
Awesome. How's your fourth?
The fourth was great. It was uneventful, with the quarantine and nobody really doing any big parties. And I had to work the day before, day after. So, yeah, I kept it very low key, but it was nice.
That's great. Same here.
Excellent.
It seems like the older you get, you don't mind them as much.
Were you able to go down the street for the Masspinock parade?
Nope, nope. Well, actually, I saw it from my bedroom.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad that went on. That was the only really thing that happened in town on the 4th.
Yep, yep. My upper deck, just right off my bedroom.
Oh, yeah.
It's right there. It's pretty nice.
Oh, lake living. You got to love it, right?
I know it is. It's wonderful. And speaking of the lake, tonight's dinner, you can take it to the park, the beach, or the lake because it's a picnic dinner.
So what are we making tonight?
What we're making tonight is tomatoes tapenade, minted fruit toss, salmon on salsa, and then we're going to finish it with raspberry swirled brownies.
That is what I'm looking forward to.
And that's what we're going to start with because they have to bake.
Excellent.
So what I have before me is a cup and a half of butter softened, 1 cup of sugar, 8 ounces of chocolate syrup, 4 eggs scrambled, 1.5 cups of flour, 1 package of cream cheese. I believe it's 3 ounces. We have 2/3 cup of raspberry preserves, and I use the seedless kind. And we have a cup of fresh raspberries. So what we're going to do is we're going to cream the butter and the sugar. And again, of course, you all know and remember baking is not my forte. So you're going to bear with me, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. We're going to start with this. Let's see how this goes. Now the butter is softened, and it is blending somewhat with the sugar. Okay. And then I'm going to add the chocolate syrup. There we go. That's starting to look a little bit like batter. Then we're going to add the eggs. Oh, no. And just keep that going. And it's looking pretty good.
Yeah, it's looking great.
Okay. Now we're going to add the flour. And that's coming right along. Okay. just want to kind of, even though I broke it up a bit, I just want to kind of put it in there in segments.
So that's softened too, like room temperature? Good.
Just want to kind of incorporate it a little and get that going. Now it's turning into a light chocolate. Okay. That's good. Now I'm going to add the preserves. I want to use a spoon for this because I want to make sure I get it all. That's where the fruity flavor comes in. Now you're going to get kind of like a velvet, kind of like a little bit of a red velvet type thing going here.
Okay.
Speed this up a bit. Okay, and that's looking pretty good. So, I'm going to move this over
You know, the
here.
worst part of this whole thing is watching you put those beaters aside and not being able to eat them, to lick them off afterwards.
Yep. Okay. Now you want to take your fresh raspberries and you want to fold them in. So you want to be careful.
Can you explain? Can you explain what folding in means?
Folding in means just folding it, kind of like developing it. If you can see.
More like a flip than a stir, correct?
Exactly. Exactly. Just very gently because you don't want to hurt the raspberries.
Correct. You want the shape when you bite into it and you see it, you want to see the raspberries.
Exactly. Okay. I did get some egg on the counter over here. I just have to rinse my hand. Whew. Okay. So now we're going to put this in a greased pan. Okay.
So when you say grease pan, you rub it with the Crisco or do you spray it? Can you do both?
I spray
Either?
it.
You do
I
spray.
spray it. Now
Okay.
you can do either or. And again, you can see my inexperience. And as I'm doing this, I'm praying, oh, please don't let the glass bowl fall on the glass pan. Not be good.
Well, I tell you, it looks a lot smoother than you cutting vegetables, so you're doing great.
I hear you. In fact, I gave myself a good little nick last night.
Oh boy.
Actually, it wasn't bad at all. Just a little bit of blood. I didn't need a Band-Aid. That was good.
That's great.
So you just want to evenly spread it. And we'll throw this in the oven, which I have preheated at 350. And we'll bake it for 30 to 35 minutes.
Excellent.
How's that look?
That looks great.
Isn't that great?
I'm still thinking about those beaters you put on the side, so.
Time it. Get that going. Okay. Give my hands enough to really rinse. Oh, this can be a little sticky. So it's time to only use a paper towel so I can wipe this tastes good.
I'm sure it does.
See, again, the older I'm getting, right? The older I'm getting, I'm liking sweets. Okay. I spilled some chocolate, too. A little mess. Okay. So, now, what was that? 10 minutes, right?
10 minutes. You're right on schedule.
Not bad whatsoever. Give my hand one more. One more rinse. And then it's on to our next dish, tomatoes tapenade. Now, tapenade is an olive type mixture that you put in things like cherry tomatoes. And here I have 24 cherry tomatoes that I scooped out, cut the top off and scooped out. Now you want to, what I ended up using, funny enough, you know, your measuring spoons. I have steel measuring spoons from the 60s.
Yeah, sure.
And they're nice and thin and they're perfect. And I used the 1/4 teaspoon size, the smallest one, and that cleaned these out perfectly.
Yeah, because a cherry tomato is smaller than your basic fruit baller, like a melon baller kind of scoop, right? That'd be too big for that.
It
So
would be. It would be. They do have the small ends, but again, you're talking pretty small.
right.
So that's why that 1/4 teaspoon worked perfectly. And so what I have for the tapenade is chopped black olives, chopped anchovy. I have chopped garlic. And then I have 2 teaspoons of freshly chopped parsley, onion salt, and a dash of Worcestershire salt. And I don't know if you can see this cute little toothpick holder. This was my mother's, and this was always on the table. We always had a couple, you know, on the table.
Well, sure.
Just a nice way for the presentation of a toothpick. You know, no detail overlooked, right?
Exactly.
So what we're going to do is we're going to mix the tapenade ingredients, and then we're going to stuff it into the cherry tomato. Now, you talk about size. They're smaller than your normal tomato, plum tomato, regular tomato, but they're bigger than the grape tomatoes. So you couldn't use a grape tomato for this because you'd have no room. And then we're going to fill it up, put the cap on, and then put a toothpick in to hold it together so it travels well. And when you eat it, it's kind of like a party in your mouth when you bite into it.
I can't wait to see this.
So we'll go ahead and put this together. It's quite simple because all the ingredients are finely chopped. So they'll mix nice. And again, you know, because of the size of the tomatoes, you don't want to use fresh onions. That's why you want to use the salt, onion salt, so it saves on some room there. And then a dash of your Worcestershire. And so you got to mix this up. And there are many different recipes for tapenade.
Yep.
You can use the olives that, you know, the Mediterranean olives, the green olives, any kind, really.
Now, if you didn't want the salt, could you use onion powder?
You could.
Okay.
You could, absolutely. Yep. And you see how nicely that came together?
Sure.
So we'll get a little production line going here. And I have another little spoon. So you just want to grab a little, right? And see that? And then you take a top. Doesn't have to be the exact top, that's okay. You stick a toothpick through it. Now, how cute is that?
Makes it
Right?
easy.
Easy, cute. Now, just think about it. You're on a picnic, right? You find your spot, lay out your blanket, you open up your wine, sit down, and you want some finger food, right? This is perfect. So, you see how fast that comes together. So I'm just gonna work along. Okay. Because after this, it's on to the minted fruit tops.
All right, so here's my big question for you. You're going to set out for a classy picnic. You're going to use a beautiful basket like you have there or like shown behind me.
Yes,
And
I love it, by the way.
What-
I love your basket.
thank you. And what would you say is a time that you would have to, from packing to eating? Because this is not a nice chest. It's not a Yeti cooler. This here is stuff that, you're doing a classy picnic.
But here's the thing, Mike. No matter what you're using for a receptacle, if it's a Yeti, if it's a cooler, if it's even a picnic basket, you always have room for an ice pack.
Okay.
Okay?
So would you recommend an ice pack?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Which is going to keep the contents of the basket cool. And if your basket is lined with material like mine, and it looks like yours is too,
Yep.
put it in a plastic bag so that when it sweats and it condenses, you're not leaking all over the place.
Excellent. Okay.
Yeah, definitely. But again, this is not a day at the beach. And that could even be another show, right?
Oh, day at the beach. Oh, yeah.
Day at the beach. Yeah, because that's definitely a different menu there. So
Because as we look and you think of the traditional picnics and the way, yeah, when you think about the picnic basket and how you had those romantic picnics, you don't think of Gladware or Tupperware. You're thinking of a nice plate with linen cloths covering things, or maybe even a little saran wrap or a little tin foil. But basically, now in the modern day, you're going to be using the Gladware or something simple because you don't want the breakables, correct?
which is why I have these over here, right?
Yep.
And I will be upfront with you. I will not be packing my picnic basket on the show. That can be after the show, because what I'm making is so visually beautiful. I just want it laid out on the counter.
Absolutely. That's why I see you
Then
plating.
I'll pack it up when I head out.
Yeah, because normally you would not plate this. You would be throwing this into the containers.
Yeah.
Right. Things we have to do for television, right?
Absolutely.
So where have you had some of your best places to have a picnic?
Well, a lot of places on the vineyard when we had a house there. Boy, all over the place down there. Here, Nahat, beautiful places. You wouldn't think Revere Beach, but yes.
Oh, Revere Beach was a great place to have a picnic. Are you kidding me?
And you know, it still is really. They've really done a lot of work to it.
It is more beautiful now than it was when I grew up there. And when I grew up there, all the roller coasters and amusement rides
The
left.
mousetrap. Remember the mousetrap?
Yes, yes. So the whole strip has changed. It is
But
more family friendly. It has a very classy look to it. You know,
yeah, yes, really.
right by the seawall, all the
All the
grandstands
high
of.
rises, the new high rise apartments, they are beautiful.
Oh
I
my goodness!
love the homes
Yep.
along Revere Beach Boulevard. Just love it. The
And
parkway there.
and kudos to Kelly's roast beef.
I was just going to mention it because you can't go to Revere Beach without getting some fried seafood at Kelly's. Forget
I
the roast beef.
I tell you, I forgot the roast beef, and I love their roast beef. It is fantastic. It is the best. You know, just watching them cut it and just throw it onto a roll for you. You know, you're getting the freshest meat possible. But it was the fried clam plate. That
Oh,
was
yeah.
the one.
Deep fried seafood.
Yeah, and they came with the two plates, the cardboard plates.
Yep.
Yeah, those were the days.
And the tin foil.
Yeah, the tinfoil. And back then, because my oldest brother used to work there,
Yep.
and what was amazing about the place was nobody wrote anything down. You took the orders, you yelled out what you needed, and then you gave the food and you collected the money. They never had a pad or pencil. And of course, now today everything's computerized, inventory. And now they have what, 10 Kellys out there now?
Yeah, but you know what? No matter which one you go to, and I've been to them, they're not like the one on Revere Beach.
Correct.
I don't know if it's the salt air or the ocean, but it's not the same.
There is nothing like getting a clear plate and then going sitting on the seawall.
On that seawall,
Yep.
the little bandstand, that
turn,
little,
turn the radio up in your car.
in the bad weather, you know, they have
Yeah.
that covered little seating area.
And then when you're done with that and you relax for a couple minutes, then you walk a half a block down to Kelly's Cream and get an ice cream sundae or a frap. Yeah.
That's right. I don't know, Mike. We must be some kind of cosmic siblings or something.
Well, it's the Chelsea and you and the Malden and me and the whole North Shore thing, you know?
Yep,
That's what does it.
absolutely. So here you go. We have a little left over for someone to snack on. But how cute are those?
Yeah, those are adorable.
Right? And a very nice picnic.
Nice bite sizes. I tell you, in the summertime, there's nothing like biting into a tomato.
Right. Okay. So I'm going to push this over here for a bit. Get rid of my toothpicks. I'm just going to rinse my hands again.
Sure. And now, if you wanted to, you could, let's build off of this. You could create some kind of little dip to dip the tomatoes in too, as well, right?
If you hold on 1 second, I just had to snap something. Whoop.
All right.
Okay, there you go. There you go. I'm sorry, you were saying?
I'm saying you could make something that you could even dip that into, whether it's a ranch dressing or a French onion or a little drizzle of balsamic. There's so much stuff you could do with that. But just that alone, the flavor that is inside there has got to be amazing. And today I made the mistake because I had to run some errands. I did not eat before the show, and I am getting hungry already.
Uh-oh. Oh, no. So what do we have here? What does this look like?
Oh my goodness, this looks, I love cantaloupe. Oh, I can't wait.
Don't you? This is the minted fruit toss. And what we have here is 1 cantaloupe dice, 1 honeydew melon dice, 2 cups of strawberries halved, and 8 ounces of pineapple chunks. And forgive me because I didn't peel a fresh pineapple. I bought a can.
Which is just as sweet as a fresh pineapple.
Absolutely. And what we have for the dressing, 4 tablespoons of mayonnaise, 4 tablespoons of lemon yogurt, and fresh mint. Now I took this home the other day and I had my brother, okay, smell this, what does it smell like? And he said, Holliston. And I said, that's right, Mom's garden. Because when you're growing up in the city, even though we had backyards in our homes, my mother never had a garden until we moved to Holliston. And then it was like, she grew everything,
Right.
including mint, and just beautiful. So this right here, we're going to just literally mix all the fruit together. Now this too, this will travel well, right? And how simple is this? And how refreshing, right?
Absolutely.
Nice fruit ensemble. Then what I want to do is grab another bowl. I want to mix this up. Isn't that pretty?
I mean, that alone is amazing.
Oh, I know.
Add some blueberries. Blueberries are just coming out now. Add a few blueberries in there. It'd be perfect.
Yep. Okay, so do that. And then we're just going to mix up the dressing. Combine that. And the lemon yogurt, that's nice and sweet.
Well, I got to ask you about that. Is that an actual like a flavor that you buy in the store, lemon yogurt?
It is.
Okay.
Yep. And that's just what I did. Now I grew up eating plain yogurt. We never had flavored yogurt. And we never flavored it with anything like honey or syrup or anything. And I just love plain yogurt. And then of course all the flavored yogurts came out. That was okay.
Yeah, growing up, my father was a big Colombo yogurt. It was just
Yeah.
the plain yogurt, and he used to eat that with his grape leaves or his
Oh,
wheat germ mixed with ground lamb, all that good stuff.
love it. Absolutely. So you see how nicely this came together
Yeah.
and how refreshing that is, right? So we're gonna put this right over the fruit. Gonna mix it all up. And because of the quantity of the fruit and the quantity of the dressing, you're not gonna have a lot of dressing. It's not gonna be heavy.
Right.
It's gonna be nice and light.
So let me ask you this question. Would you prepare it like this before you were to pack it up for the picnic, or would you keep it separate and
Absolutely.
then mix it?
No, I would do it like this before. No, just like this.
Yep.
And then pack it up because your container's gonna be cool.
Okay.
So.
Oh, I wasn't sure how long it would have to sit for. I mean, can it sit for too long?
Well, if it's chilled, right?
Yep.
It can sit.
Okay.
It's gonna stay.
Excellent.
So there's your minted fruit toss.
Yeah, that was easy. That's like the fastest thing I think you've made so far. Well, of course, you didn't do all the peeling and all the dicing, and which takes time. So, how much time would you say preparing the cantaloupe, honeydew, and so forth? How much time?
Not even a half hour. No
All right,
long.
so a half hour and then 2 minutes to mix it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And now what we have salmon on salsa. So we have here are two beautiful pieces of salmon. Now the salmon, I love salmon steaks, but they tend to be bony. And for a picnic, you don't want to be dealing with that.
Sure.
So the fillets work really well. And I don't know if you can see it from the bottom, but you skin it. So you skin it and you bone it, and you just want to make sure you don't feel any bones.
Now, could you, when you go to the deli, could they prepare that like that for you? Could you buy it like that?
The fishmonger, which is what they're called. I
Okay.
mean, you want to call them anything.
I did not know that.
Instead of the fish guy. You can ask them to take the skin off. They'll do whatever you want, really.
Okay. Well, I only know that I'm not a big fish person, but I do know the deli, if I wanted cutlets thin and all they had was thick, you know, they would go and they would take it and they would take care of it. So they would do the same thing at the fish section of Price Chopper or anywhere. Okay. Good to know.
Okay, so here's the salsa ingredients. And what we have 8 plum tomatoes chopped, diced. We have red onion chopped. We have jalapeno peppers chopped. We have scallions chopped. We have garlic cloves chopped. We have cilantro chopped, my favorite. And we have 3 tablespoons of fresh lime, or 4 actually, and rainy or Dijon mustard. And what we're going to do with the mustard, this does not go in the salsa. We're going to rub it on the salmon, both sides, and then cook the salmon in the pan for 3 minutes, 3-4 minutes on each side only. Then, woo-hoo, oh, those brownies are looking good. I have to say, I get all excited, you know it, right?
Absolutely.
So we're going to start making the salsa. Okay, so I'm going to add all the ingredients. Salsa. Now, here's a good thing, because this is a lot of salsa, and again, we'll be packing up containers to take with us on the picnic, and you'll have a certain amount in your container on the bottom for the salsa, and then you're going to top it with the salmon.
Okay.
So you may have salsa left over. And what you can do, did I mention the cumin?
Cumin, yes.
What thousands of uses? Okay, maybe not thousands, don't quote me, but a lot of uses for the leftover salmon, including homemade tortilla chips, right?
Absolutely.
In fact, you could even pack that in the container and take that with some chips. And you can nosh on those while you're enjoying the tomatoes, right?
So let me ask you, what heat would that be? Would that be considered a mild, a medium?
It's a medium. It's between mild and medium, because I have 2 jalapeno peppers here. And they're not super, super hot, right? But it's a nice level of heat.
Excellent, because my personal preference, I do not like to go higher than medium. But for those that enjoy burning their faces off, they could mix this up and add some hotter pepper and so forth.
I'm going to
But I like your idea on the medium, though. I like to enjoy it. I like to have the tingle.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to have a little heat, but you don't want to kill it.
Right.
And you can always bring extra if your guests prefer it super hot, because you know, a lot of people do.
Right.
Okay, I'm gonna turn that up. I'm gonna get a little olive oil in here going. Okay, good coating. And then what, while that's doing that, I'm going to plate this because again, I said it's a really beautiful dish. And if you're serving this at home, on the deck, it's a beautiful presentation, just like this. That's another reason why I didn't want to pack things up tonight because
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. Because I'm sure you're going to eat this when we're done.
well, you know, I might just pack it up and go down the street, right? Go to Sandy Beach.
Go
or
to Sandy
take it down
Beach.
to Patty's. Hi, Patty.
Yep.
Shout out to Patty and Bindi and Scott and Steve and Jared. Can't forget Jared and the pets. Little Philly. Love little Philly.
That's what's nice about your neighborhood too, because you can pack this up, walk down the street, and I can tell you, you will find people to join you for this picnic.
Yeah, truly. I'm gonna put this here because when these come off out of the pan, I'm just
Yep.
gonna place them right in here. But isn't that beautiful? Look at that.
That is lovely.
Yeah, pretty good. So, now, okay, so now we want to, I'm gonna use a little flat spoon for this. I'm gonna have to wash my hands after this. But you just want to spread it on both sides. And this will give it a nice tangy flavor. Pardon me, do you have any Grey Poupes?
Gay Poupon? Well, the greatest commercials ever. Well, the greatest commercials ever.
I know, they were best mustard ever. Okay, well, that's good. I'm gonna leave it like that, upside down. And I'll do the top side first, and then I'll flip it. Then, pan is sizzling.
Yep, the old water test.
Water test. Okay, I'm gonna put these in. Okay. Now, you want to leave them alone. Let them cook for 3 minutes, maybe 4 to be safe,
Is it 4 a side or just 4 minutes altogether?
each side.
Each side. Okay.
Yeah. And I guess while I'm doing this, I can crack open the wine.
I was just about to say, I'm going to assume you're going to go with a white. And what do you recommend with this dish?
Well, I'm having a Pinot Grigio, slightly sweet. We know I like dry.
Dry, yep.
But what's interesting about this wine that's picnic friendly? No cork,
No cork, absolutely.
right? There you
There's-
go. Because honestly, as romantic and all that, opening it up with the cork and here on the pop, when you're on the ground, really, you want a little ease.
Right. Well, secondly, if you don't finish it, you want to be able to make sure that you can close it up and take it back with you.
Yes, that's true.
That's helpful.
That's a really good point.
And there is nothing less romantic than an unsuccessful cork opening.
So we're going to just let that
So,
over here.
so you have a nice white wine. Um, I tell you, this is great. I'm just looking at the appetizers. I can see me being out, whether it's like the haunt, 27 steps, which is really romantic.
47.
Yeah, 47.
47
I'm sorry,
steps.
47 steps. Nice romantic, and you know, s- oh, I can see this lasting 2 hours. This meal.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Just and it's friendly food, right? So you have
Right.
the toothpicks for the tomatoes. For the fruit, you're gonna have, your forks, and you're gonna need them for your salmon, right?
Sure.
Brownies, finger food. We've got 4 minutes on the brownies.
So this is definitely one of these meals, and with the classy basket. Forget about the folding chairs. I think you really need a blanket and to sit down.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Like what's behind you?
yeah, right
Yeah,
here. There it is.
right there, ready to go.
This is my idea of a picnic.
I love it.
It's not
Including the
tail.
stuffed animal. It's perfect.
It's not tailgating. Tailgating's a whole different show.
Well, wait till football season. We'll
If
have
it
a
happens,
tailgating dinner.
I can't
All
wait.
right. I'll tell you a little funny story. My nephew has seasons tickets, and I would go with him to the games on occasion. And we tailgate. And what would I bring? Lamb chops. We get the grill going. Everyone's like, hot dogs, hamburgers, not us.
Yeah,
Lamb chops, the shrimp cocktail. Just
I'm the same way, and I go to maybe one game a year or one every other year, and I'm not gonna bring hamburgers and hot dogs and steak tips. No, you're gonna bring something fun, something different. You gotta have a good time at these things, and
eat
yeah,
well.
I just enjoy them too much.
I forgot to introduce the lime
Lime
wedges
wedges, yep.
to garnish. Now, again, you can look at this and see that the doneness starts to rise.
Yep.
Okay, so that's a good way to keep track of it too. And these are looking beautiful. Oh my. Oh my. They are beautiful and they smell wonderful. That mustard just
All
giving
right,
it a
so
nice thing.
so this recipe here should feed how many people at a picnic?
This right here? Okay. Honestly, I'm Italian. I go two.
4 on a
And I'm
budget?
being honest, right?
Maybe,
If I'm cooking for more than two people.
yeah,
I'm
maybe
being
4
honest.
on a budget. Well, when you think again, when you're thinking about a picnic,
Good.
you're thinking two. You know, realistically, a picnic, two.
Oh my. Brownies look really good. And how fast did this all come together? Look,
You know,
45 minutes.
right? And now, basically, here, the longest part is the brownies. You got to cool them, you got to cut them, and then package. So, again, you just made a picnic in an hour.
Yeah. And, interesting food, not in fact, I have to be honest. When I was putting together this menu, I was going to do Reubens. I was going to do chicken roll-ups and lettuce. And I'm sitting there and going, you know what? That's like too typical. We need to go outside of the picnic basket,
Right. That almost sounds like a family day at the beach, kind of.
Exactly.
With the little kids, and you know, mom and dad and the kids and maybe, another family or something like that. Do the wraps, do the PB and J's. Because first off, anybody that knows your show, this was not going to be your peanut butter and fluff and nutter picnic. This was going to be really something classy, something that,
Yeah.
I mean,
Right?
even though you're going to package all this here in Gladware and Tupperware and so forth, when you lay it out on, I'm going to assume, a nice paper plate with a pattern.
And a nice blanket.
Yeah. So this is all gonna plate well and look nice. It's even though it's packaged, you gotta undo it. Granted, you're not gonna have that big, huge fruit bowl,
That's
which
right.
looks amazing, but it's gonna look great. You're gonna bring some nice little Dixie bowls or something. It's this is a good looking meal, and of course, you're gonna bring the real wine glasses. Any kind of picnic, you gotta bring the real wine glasses.
You do. Absolutely. I'm going to let that go a couple more minutes. But
Okay.
hence, that's why the real wine glasses. I'm going to take a sip.
Yeah. And you're gonna bring enough linen with you to wrap them up, which will act as your napkins and protect everything.
Exactly. It's all doable.
Yeah, without a doubt. And like I said, you class it up with a nice basket. It doesn't have to be, especially if you're gonna travel. Let's say you make this here and you decide, oh yeah, we're gonna road trip it to Maine. Yeah, you might want to put it in a cooler, something like that. And keep the basket ready.
You have no idea what I'm taking on the road, okay? And it's all about feeling special and being special. And that's what preparing this type of food is all about, you
Sure.
know? Because you're making it for the people you love, that you love being with. How better to share that, right?
Right. And what really jazzes it up is the nice wine glasses. It's the it's the silverware instead of plasticware. It's the linen napkins instead of paper towels. Oh, look at that. I've been waiting a long time for this.
Now, I don't know. I'm going to see if I can push this over a bit. And it's a good thing this counter is about 1,000 years old. I don't know if you can see them,
That looks amazing.
but I don't know if you can see the raspberries in there. But that's why you want to fold them in so that you don't get mush.
Right.
Because you already have the preserves in there. So you want a nice little bite of the berries. Now I'm going to turn this off. Salmon. There you go. And that's that piece. Put that over there. And here is salmon on salsa.
That looks great. I love the color. I'm not a fish person, but the colors are just amazing. The way it cooks up.
Then we have a nice, you want to garnish it with the limes. Because when you serve it, you can, squeeze the lime juice on it. And it's just beautiful. Yeah. So that's here's your picnic dinner.
That's outstanding.
Yeah.
So I'm going to throw a little curve at you here. You know I'm not a fish guy.
Okay.
If you want to take me on a picnic, what would you make me instead of the fish?
Okay.
Remember, I want everything else, but I don't want the fish. What would you do instead?
I would make a pate. I would start the meal with the pate,
Yeah.
some kinds of artisan cheeses and wine, just to, get going.
Okay.
And then I would pack up maybe some shrimp in endive boats or endive boats.
Okay.
That would be marinated shrimp, good sized shrimp on endive leaves, because that's easy to eat, right?
Yep. Right.
Kind of like a little pick-me-up thing. For a boy, what's a picnic without fried chicken?
Oh, yes.
You could dress it up.
You just said the magic word.
I know. Who doesn't love fried chicken? And you can dress it up. You can make it special, right?
Right.
I mean, special batter. And you can bake it. It doesn't have to be fried if you want to be a little health conscious.
Sure.
Yeah.
It having the new air fryers today too, which are incredible.
Exactly. Lamb chops. We talked
Lamb
about
chops,
that.
yes. Yep.
I could eat those for breakfast. Again, I can eat anything cold, just about.
Yep.
Yeah, that would not be beyond me.
I was hoping it must be the ESP working here, because I was hoping you were gonna say fried chicken, because
wow.
that is one thing that I think about at a picnic time too, is having some fried chicken,
Yeah.
because you can eat it chilled.
Exactly. And with your fingers.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Great. That's exactly. Oh, that's outstanding. So we did this here in an hour because, if you take into consideration peeling and cutting the fruit, and scooping out the tomatoes, which, like you said, you had the right tool. Yeah, that looks great.
I just can't help doing that because
That's some beautiful colors. So having the right size scoop for the tomatoes, you had that already.
Cute are these. They're so cute.
I could see my mother, who was not a scoop person. She used to use little knives. She scared me like you when it came to knives, and she would like peel out the insides. Yeah, a little more time consuming.
Yeah.
That's outstanding. So the brownies.
Yes.
Nothing healthy about those brownies except for the fruit inside, correct?
Exactly. And I don't even know if I can. Oh,
Oh, they're cutting up for you?
they are.
Wow.
I'm wondering. Oh. For my fiesta dishes. My
Love it.
grandmother. God love her. Oh, look at that.
Wow. That looks great.
Yeah, it's a small piece.
Well, it means you can just eat more then.
I guess I can take a taste, right?
Yeah, might as well. You gotta let me know because I can't taste it from here.
Still warm,
Oh, absolutely.
but delicious.
So now let's take this one more step.
Okay.
The dessert.
Yes. Okay.
Little ready whip in the can,
You could.
right?
You
And
could.
maybe a couple berries on top of that
You
afterwards.
could.
That is
Absolutely.
outstanding. I'm liking it.
Yeah.
So that's great. So listen, we have about 6 minutes left. So I'd like to remind everybody that's watching this on YouTube, look in the description section. You will see the whole ingredients and the instructions on how to do this whole picnic dinner. Check out our playlist. Check out our past shows. Everything is on there. Everything has a menu. Everything has all the ingredients and instructions on how to prepare. And next, I need to know, you're around next week?
Yes, and don't forget, if you think of anything that you'd like to ask me, doesn't matter when, reach out to me through HCAM.
Yep.
HCAM.tv.
Now, if you're watching this here, you can just make a comment here, and we'll get that, and we'll get it to Terry for an answer. You can send us an email at hcam.tv, and anything you need to know, any kind of questions, any kind of tips, or any suggestions for types of dinners.
That's right. I was just going to say, any requests for future shows?
Speaking of future shows, what do we got in mind next week?
It's
What are you
going
thinking?
to be, I'm tossing things up. I haven't quite decided yet.
Mm,
So that'll be a surprise.
okay, I'm sure it's going to be yummy as always.
It is. And, I always have my ideas and what I need to do. But there you are, talking about lamb, right?
Yeah.
Oh, now I'm just,
Oh,
and there's so many different things you can do with lamb. Ground lamb, lamb chops, leg of lamb.
the lollipop shanks. Oh, so much you can do.
Lamb.
Yeah, yeah.
That's lamb chops.
And when you think lamb too, you can also think Mediterranean food, Middle Eastern food.
Now here's a quick way to do lamb chops. If you have balsamic vinaigrette,
Yep.
take lamb chops, marinate them in a plastic bag overnight, and then grill them or broil them. Amazing. And that's all it is. That's it.
It's that simple.
Yeah. And how delicious and elegant, really. Here we go again.
That is outstanding.
But it's no chopped liver. And let me tell you, I love chopped liver.
Oh, I can't
Oh
do
my
it.
God.
I can't do it.
And that's another whole dinner, Oh my God.
Oh my goodness. So one of the things I want to remind the viewers too, we are still in COVID-19 protocols. Terry is still continuing to do the show every week, and she's doing the condensed version, the 1 hour quick meal for a couple people, not a normal gathering, which is a social event, which is an all-day process for you that you actually edit down into a half-hour show.
I know.
But, I just want to remind all the viewers at home that once we're able to become normal, can we say that? Will we ever be normal again? If we become normal again, you'll be back doing those shows as well, which I can't wait because that's the part I miss the most. I mean, we have our banter back and forth, but you miss it when your parties happen and you get the guest involved in the meal.
And the next show, once this all clears, I've got the guest list, and if they're watching, you know who you are. Because we almost had it in March.
Right.
Fun with fondue. And
That's the one.
A to Z. I've got 7 fondue pots that I'm going to get going.
I haven't had fondue since the 70s, and I want to have fondue.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, that's good to know, and I can't wait. And we love you, Terry. We love that you continue doing this for us.
Love you too.
And so we got to wrap up. It's 7:59. We got to say goodbye.
Bye, viewers. Love you too. Be safe. Tune in next week. See, I hear the music in my
Yeah,
head.
something happened.
Da-da-da-da-da-da. Oh, here's the HCAM. Woo!
I would sing us out, but I can't carry a tune even if you put handles on it. Sorry.